I honestly think this may be the most beautiful episode of television I have ever watched. So, this episode of Severance was directed by Severance's cinematographer Jessica Lagagna. Lagagni? I think it's Lagagna. I think she's French. So, Jessica, I'm sorry if I butchered your last name. But the beauty in this episode was absolutely stunning. One of the most incredible things I've ever seen. The transitions that she did, it's giving Beyonce. Okay? Severance is the Beyonce of television. And what I mean by that is just when you think the show can't get any better, there's not another level they can go to, they go 2 levels above that. And I don't know if any of you that are going to watch this video are big into directors of music videos, but I was a big Herb Ritz fan. He was a photographer and he also directed music videos. And I remember something that he said that if I ever get the chance to direct anything, will be fully present in my mind is that when you're directing something, you should be able to stop the tape at any point and have a beautiful photograph. And with this episode, you could have done that. And I honestly, something that I was yearning for and something that I wanted was to see Mark and Gemma together. And not even necessarily after everything that's going on now, but just to see their relationship. And I honestly didn't know if we were ever going to get that. So to get that in this episode, when I was not expecting that, was so amazing and so beautiful. And then to have it end the way that it did was just so tragic and so incredibly devastating. And I have no idea how much of this video y'all are going to watch. So I'm just going to present my theory now. So what my theory is that Mark, okay, so what I think is that somebody that works for Lumen observed Gemma and Mark somewhere and saw how in love they are, how bonded they were, how close they were, and felt that that would be the prime relationship to test whether severance actually works. And so I think, this has probably been thrown out there. Lumen caused that car accident. They took Gemma and they're holding her inside of Lumen. And yeah, that's what I think. And when Mark finishes Cold Harbor, I have no idea what's going to happen. But yeah, that's what I think. I think this whole thing is a setup for them to test how well does severance work. And then once they get that answer, they're going to do something absolutely horrific. Because clearly, this company is full of evil human beings, which, is what we think about corporations. So art is kind of imitating life in that way. So I just want to say really quickly, I am from Allentown, Pennsylvania. And so when I saw that on the door, I was like, oh, Allentown. And then for this to be the room of what is inside Allentown, it made me think about like the Christmases I had when I was growing up, when I was young, with my grandmother and decorating the tree with her. It made me, even though this scene is so sad, it made me think of happy memories of when I was young in Allentown. So just wanted to throw that in here. And then this moment when she goes up in the elevator and she transitions back to her innie. And I was just like, oh my God. So incredibly devastated. And so she's in that hallway. Milchick comes in, rushes and throws open the door. Um, I'm gonna get to Milchick in a second. I'm probably gonna end with him because I'm already at 5:23. But so remember how I've said, if you've watched my other videos, I've talked about how your innie is you without the experiences that make you who you are, right? So, for example, me as a Black woman, this happened to me today. Me as a Black woman, I have had so many experiences of being like interrupted by men at work or being talked to by men at work like I didn't know anything when really I was more competent than they were. All these different things. And especially because as a woman, you're socialized to be nice and keep the peace and all of that. And so you take it when you're young in your career, you take it, take it, take it, take it, take it. And then you get to a point where you're like, fuck that. I'm not taking this shit anymore. I'm speaking up. So when you see Gemma in the hallway and Milchick is saying, you know, can you go back to the elevator and go back downstairs? And she's like, what is going on? And he's just basically saying like, oh, you lost your way, whatever. And then she turns around and then she turns back and she's like, but, and he's like, just, go back downstairs. And it's like, you might think, okay, well, why doesn't she push back more? So you have to remember these innies, they're kind of like in an adolescent state. So it's almost like she's a young girl. And so she's not going to push back because that's not what you would do if you were a young girl. And that is why these innies, for the most part, are so easy to manipulate because they're like young children because they have no life experience. So that's something that resonated with me in this scene. Did I not tell you this man was an overseer? Did I not tell you that? He is aiding in Gemma's captivity. I told you, it's giving plantation life. I told y'all that. So what the episode that I need now is I need the episode where we find out why in the fuck Milchick is so invested in doing the will of these evil people. That's the episode I need now. But a beautiful episode. Probably one of, if not my favorite episode of television I have ever seen. And yeah, tell all your friends to get into Severance. Possibly the most incredible show in television history. Truly.